enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. I'm lost again, but I gotta maintain. Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye?
Hello everybody and welcome to race number 15 of Season 3 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Canada 300 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We are at our third trip to a road course this season, and this should be an interesting one because this is a game-changing race for the point standings. Drivers can get shuffled in or out of the top 10 or wildcard spots for the chase for the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at your starting lineup for today's race.
Imagine the dreams of a 13-year-old looking up at the sky, wondering how the world can be so cold. This kid wasn't sold it would be like this. At nighttime wishes to be safe from this abyss, cause this shit is something that can be dismissed. A boy born as a girl who is going through the stress. He's got a shotgun number, can't play for the team. His school won't let him even though it's his dream. Now he's sitting in bed with a loaded gun, thinking about blowing his brains out to kingdom come. Cause he's been bullied and teased all his life. Almost killed himself 2 years ago by slitting his wrist with a knife. I wonder if he sees the things I see for him. 10 years down the line, speaking at the forum. A college graduate, I bet the top of his class, the first trans NFL player up in the track.
Well, there's a look at your starting lineup. We've got an all-Ford front row. It is Austin Weiner on the pole with Ian Dutta in second. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys and girls. Right now it is side by side between the 22 and the 66, but the 22 of Austin Weiner is going to get that bottom lane working, and he's going to go to the lead still. And meanwhile, Dylan Young, Austin Weiner's teammate, he's going to try to get to Ian Dutta for second to make it a Penske 1-2 right now. But they're just bumper to bumper right now, and also Alex Pedro is up into the mix as well, along with Ryan Anderson Jr. Let's see how the 22 gets around this corner as well as everybody else. Dylan Young kind of overdrove that corner right there, but he still maintains third, but he's going to lose a little bit of ground. And Austin Weiner's starting to pull ahead of Ian Dutta, so once we complete lap 1, we'll take a look and see how the field is currently running at the current moment. This right here is a trouble spot for some drivers, so we're trying to go through everybody to make sure no crashes take place. And everybody got through. Margin for the lead at that time was about a half a second for Austin Weiner over Ian Dutta. So now that lap 1 is complete, let's take a look and see how the field currently runs. It is Austin Weiner the leader, second is Ian Dutta, third is Dylan Young, fourth is Chris Washer, fifth is Alex Pedro, sixth is Kendall Maynor, seventh is Ryan Anderson Jr., eighth is Matt McIntyre, ninth is Jesse King, 10th is Dylan Thero, 11th is Nick Pericles, 12th is Alex Hawkins, 13th Eric Burton, 14th Anthony McCrory, 15th Jesse Setti, 16th Brandon Nichols, 17th Michael Walden, 18th is David Rivera. And look at that, 3 wide with Chase Oliver, Eric Enrage, and Michael Norman. So meanwhile, make that 20th Eric Enrage, 21st Michael Norman, 22nd Chase Oliver, 23rd Ken Thero, 24th Seth Cole, 25th Zachary Fitzwater, 26th Rue McIntyre, 27th is Trent Dunham, 28th Charles Sanford, 29th, Jessica Sheldon. 30th, Larry Hagan. 32nd is Cassandra Renzi. 32nd, excuse me. Let's take a look and see how the scoring is updated. Larry Hagan is currently 31st. 32nd is Kyle Matthews. 33rd is Gabe Williams. 34th, Justin Talampas. 35th, Biggie Spencer. 36th is Cody Lamas. 37th, Jecko Knight. 38th, Sonny Hammond. 39th, PJ Williams. 40th, Jordan Culp. 41st, Charles Jackson. And we got the first car that is wrecked, and that is Henrietta Fitzwater. Looked like an incident between her and Charles Jackson. We'll have to take a look at that replay once the race is over. And yes, this is only an 11-lap event, as to where the last 2 seasons it's been 16. This time we're running 11 laps, but remember there are no cautions allowed on road courses, so really if you crash, you crash. And I think these drivers may make it on 1 tank of fuel. It all just depends on how they're running out there. Meanwhile, it looks like Chris Washer is actually one of the fastest cars on the track. Let's take a look at the fastest lap list. And indeed, Chris Washer has ran the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 16 seconds, .720. Dylan Young a little bit under a minute 17, underneath 77 seconds. Then Austin Weiner and Ian Dutta and Charles Jackson. So that is currently how that runs. And as we take a look at the cars out of the race, it is only 1 car, and that is Henrietta Fitzwater. So like I said, we'll have to take a look at a replay to see what happened between her and Charles Jackson, as Charles Jackson is way in the back. Let's see where he is running. He's running in 41st, not that far behind, but yeah, you can tell he has some side damage from whatever happened between himself and Henrietta Fitzwater, so you can only assume that it was an accident right around these corners where these tire walls are at. Meanwhile, Austin Weiner putting on a clinic for the fans here at Canadian Tire. Started on the pole and has led every lap so far in this race, as he is trying to go for his 6th career Walmart Cup Series win in the first of the season, as he's had a pretty good season so far. He's been up in that top 10 pretty much most of this season so far. He would love to get a win and hope to stay in the top 10 in order to make it in the chase for the championship later in the season. Right now it is all Austin Weiner up at the front at that margin at the last lap, almost 2 seconds that Austin Weiner has over Ian Dutta. And actually, let's take a look and see how the field currently runs at the moment, as we're getting closer to the halfway point of this race. It is Austin Weiner, the leader. 2nd is Ian Dutta. 3rd is Dylan Young. 4th is Chris Washer. 5th is Alex Pedro. 6th is Kendall Maynor. 7th is Ryan Anderson Jr. 8th is Jesse King. 9th, Matt McIntyre. 10th, Alex Hawkins. Then it's Dylan Thero, 11th. 12th, Nick Pericles. 13th is Eric Burton. 14th, battle between Anthony McCurry and Michael Walton. 16th is Jesse Setti. 17th, David Rivera. 18th, Eric Enrage. 19th is Seth Cole. 20th is Charles Sanford. 21st is Ken Thero. 22nd, Brandon Nichols. 23rd, Chase Oliver. 24th, Michael Norman, last week's winner. 25th, Zachary Fitzwater. 26th, Larry Hagan. 27th, Rue McIntyre. 28th, Gabe Williams. 29th, Jessica Shelton. 30th is Cody Lamas. 31st is Cassandra Renzi. 32nd, Jecko Knight. 33rd, Kyle Matthews. 34th, Jordan Culp. 35th is Biggie Spencer. 36th is Justin Talampas. 37th is Sonny Hammond. 38th, PJ Williams. 39th, he's all of a sudden caught cars. So Charles Jackson's 39th. Wait a minute. Do we have another car out? No, 2 cars are just slow or something, or must have got into something. That is Cody Hagan and Trent Dunham. Let's take a look. See where the 11 is running. The 11 is out of the race. What about Trent Dunham? He's out of the race too, so it looks like another accident took place. This time with Trent Dunham and Cody Hagan. It's no wonder why Charles Jackson managed to catch back up to the end of the lead lap cars. Must have been something that happened between the 11 and the 1, so that makes 2 accidents we're going to have to take a look at a replay of. Meanwhile, Charles Jackson running in 39th. He is right behind Sonny Hammond, Biggie Spencer, PJ Williams, Justin Talampa. So this is all a battle for the 35th position between these 5 cars, as they've got separated from Jordan Kolb, who is in 34th. Meanwhile, Austin Weiner continues to extend on his lead over Ian Dutta. And we are past halfway this race, so when we come to the stripe here, it will be 4 laps to go here at Canadian Tire. And Austin Weiner so far in this race, pure domination. Let's take a look at some notable drivers to see where they're running. Let's take a look at one of the top drivers in points, Cassandra Renzi. She is still back in that 31st spot. Hasn't been able to get around really anybody. And what about the next one, another high driver in points, and that is Ryan Anderson Jr. He's still in the top 10, currently in the 7th position. He's having a great run today, following up a solid top 15 finish last week at M&Ms. And speaking of M&Ms and restrictor plate racing, the next race we head to is going to be at Coca-Cola, and that's going to be interesting. And that actually is going to be for the first time ever a night race at Coca-Cola, except for this race we call it Coke Zero instead of Coca-Cola. So that's going to be quite a race right there, nighttime racing at the 3-mile oval plate track, just like M&Ms. Meanwhile, Austin Weiner continues to extend the lead. It's almost to 2.5 seconds, almost 3 seconds between himself and Ian Dutta. Meanwhile, no other accidents have taken place. So that makes only 2 accident scenes we got to take a look at on replays when we get down to the end of the race. Let's take a look and see where another notable driver, Chris Washer, he is still in the 4th spot, but this is all turned into a 3-car battle for the 2nd spot, as Chris Washer, Dylan Young, and Ian Dutta are all right by each other. So we could see a shakeup in the top 5 here at any moment. Let's take a look at another driver in the top 5 in points coming in, or at least I think, Brandon Nichols. He is back in the 22nd spot, so he's the lowest of the Penske cars in 22nd, as Austin Weiner's the leader, Dylan Young in 3rd. And right behind him, which was the next driver I was going to talk about, last week's winner and Daytona 500 winner, Michael Norman, back in the 23rd spot. So we go back up to the front. It is 2 laps to go for Austin Weiner, as he has dominated this entire race, has led every single lap in this race. Could we see for the first time ever a driver lead every lap in the race and win? I don't think it has ever been done before in Walmart Cup Series competition. I really don't think it's happened. And so far, Austin Weiner, he started on the pole, and he has led all 9 laps in this race. And it's less than 2 to go here at Canadian Tire. Let's take a look and see how the top 20 is It's Austin Weiner in the lead, second Ian Dutta, third Dylan Young, fourth Chris Washer, fifth is Alex Pedro, sixth is Kendall Maynor, seventh Ryan Anderson Jr., eighth Jesse King, ninth Matt McIntyre, 10th Alex Hawkins, 11th is Dylan Thero, 12th is Nick Pericles, 13th is Eric Burton, 14th is Michael Walton, 15th Anthony McCurry, 16th David Rivera, 17th Jesse Setti, 18th is Eric Enrage, 19th Charles Sanford, 20th is Ken Thero. And the white flag is out for Austin Weiner. Austin Weiner, he hasn't been to victory lane in over a whole season since Thornton, the first Thornton race of season 2. That was the last time Austin Weiner went to victory lane, so it's been a long winless streak for the 22 team, or for Austin Weiner. As long as Austin Weiner can hit his marks, I believe he's got this race in the bag, as the margin 3.5 seconds last time by as far as the margin of the lead. And Austin Weiner, so far he's hitting his marks very well, although his lap times have been slower because the tires have been starting to wear out. But he's still keeping it together. Here he is coming out of the last corner. Austin Weiner with no one around. Austin Weiner, domination, wins the Canada 300 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Unbelievable performance by Austin Weiner. And the first time ever, to my knowledge, the first time ever in Walmart Cup Series history, a driver led every lap in the race and won. Unbelievable. Well, the race is over, but the video isn't over. We are now going to take a look at two replays to see what happened to drivers such as Cody Hagan, Trent Dunham, and Henrietta Fitzwater. Well, here's a look at what happened. This was around the back of the field, and it looks like Charles Jackson doesn't give Henrietta Fitzwater a whole lot of room. That forces Fitzwater out of the track and into the tire wall. Charles Jackson gets the tire wall a little bit and goes for a little slide. But other than that, he was able to keep it going and somehow caught the rest of the lead lap cars in the back of the pack to battle it out for position. But unfortunately for Henrietta Fitzwater, she got wrecked and she was out of the race. Now we're going to take a look at the final replay, which was the accident involving Cody Hagan and Trent Dunham. Well, it looks like it's the same thing that happened with Charles Jackson, Henrietta Fitzwater, and it looks like this time, though, Trent Dunham comes down in front of Cody Hagan, and then Dunham, oh, that was a hard hit into the tire wall for him, so is for Cody Hagan. So that was from Trent Dunham coming down in front of the 11 and forced them both off the track and into the tire barrier. And when you hit that tire barrier like that, it just rips your car apart and you're not able to keep your car going. But that does it for the replays. Let's now take you to the official results. Well, Austin Weiner's pulled into his into the pit road. Now let's take a look at the official results of the Canada 300 at Canadian Tire. Austin Weiner, domination, led every single lap today and won this race. History made here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Great job for Austin Weiner. First victory since Thornton, I believe, race 7 of season 2. So it's been a long drought for Austin Weiner. He finally ends that drought, and he's got his 6th win. He's one away from tying Chris Washer for most all-time wins in Walmart Cup Series competition. Ian Dutta, solid 2nd place finish, though he couldn't keep up with the 22 of Austin Weiner. Dylan Young, solid 3rd place finish, so Penske gets 1st and 3rd, at least with those two cars up here in the top 5. Great run for Dylan Young. Chris Washer comes away with a solid 4th place finish, and hold on. I had to take some sips of water. I had the hiccups. But anyways, Alex Pedro gets a solid 5th place finish. So great run for him. Kendall Maynard gets another solid top 10 finish of 6th. And then Ryan Anderson Jr., this is going to be helpful for him to get up to Cassandra Renzi in the points and maybe even surpass Cassandra Renzi in the point standings. We'll see at the end of the video. Jesse King, solid 8th after a horrible barrel roll last week at M&M's. Matt McIntyre, solid 9th place finish. And rounding out the top 10 was Alex Hawkins. The rest of the top 20 was Dylan Thero, Nick Pericles, Eric Burton, Michael Walton, Anthony McCurry, David Rivera, Jesse Setti, Eric Enrage, Ken Thero, and Charles Sanford. The rest of the top 30 was Brandon Nichols, Seth Cole, Michael Norman, Zachary Fitzwater, Chase Oliver, Gabe Williams, Rue McIntyre, Jessica Sheldon, Larry Hagan, and Cody Lamas. Then the rest of the cars that finished the race were Cassandra Renzi, Jekko Knight, Kyle Matthews, Jordan Kolb, Justin Talampas, Sonny Hammond, P.J. Williams, Charles Jackson, and Biggie Spencer. And the last 3 cars were out of the race, and they were Cody Hagan, Trent Dunham, and Henrietta Fitzwater. That does it for our coverage here at Canadian Tire. The next race we run is the Coke Zero 500 at Coca-Cola at night racing, in which the track is renamed Coke Zero for that race particularly. See you there, as here are your results, rookie points, and regular point standings.
Be a doctor, a priest, an astronaut, a fireman, or join the police. Be on the silver screen, become a movie star, or be a pro racer and drive fast cars. It don't matter the age, it don't matter the color, it don't matter the gender or who you love. If you got it in your heart, then go ahead and do it. If you have a gift, then please go ahead and use it. Cause I was feeling stupid while trying to do music, thinking that I had no voice and that I was useless. But as I write this down, I can see what I mean. Nobody ever will stop me from achieving my dreams.